Hello students, welcome to the Pole Science of class 9, and today we will proceed with the same chapter, that is the revision part of chapter number 1, that is what is democracy and why democracy. So previously we completed the topic related to what is democracy, then the representative, how they will form, after that forming what they will do, the government. Clear? After that we came to know about the word democracy, which is actually arrived from the Greek word demos and kratia. Then we came to know about the definition of democracy given by Abraham Lincoln. And lastly, we read about the difference between democratic and non-democratic government. So today we will proceed with the another topic, that is features of democracy. So under features of democracy, there are 6 major points that will come. So let us read them. Number 1 feature is that rulers elected by the people. So first and foremost feature and the most important feature of democracy is that the rulers or the elected rulers, you can say, are elected by whom? By us, by the people of that particular country who is following the democratic form of government. And we are electing these leaders or rulers through our right to vote. Clear? The number 2 feature is that major decision by elected leaders. That means after we have elected our leader, they will do what? After they have been given the portfolio, suppose in our country the real head is our Prime Minister. So all the major decision will be taken by whom? All these leaders, or you can say our real head, our honorable Prime Minister will take all the major decision related to the welfare and development of the people or society. After that, free and fair election. That means what? One important feature of democracy is that it is following the democratic process, and while following this democratic process, it is also maintaining what? Free and fair election. That means that election is, in that election, particular election, no unfair means is used, and everyone from the age of 18 and above are able to participate in that election through the universal adult franchise or through the right to vote. Clear? After that, election in regular intervals. That means wherever the country is following democratic form of government, that in those particular places elections are held in every regular interval. That means if we talk about India, in India elections are held after every 5 years, and that is being carried on since our independence. After that, fifth feature of democracy is that one person, one vote, one value. That means a person having the right to vote will have one vote in his or her name, and that one vote of his or her will give a value of one vote only. That means one people is equal to one value of vote. And number 6th and the final features of democracy is that rule of law and respect of rights. That means there is certain law according to the constitution which we have to abide, and there is a respect of rights also. Clear? We have to follow, we have to abide by the law also, and along with that, whatever the rights it is been given to the citizens of the country, that right should be respected. So these were all the features of democracy. After that, major decision by elected leaders. That means this point was under number 2nd features of democracy. So a democratic government is one in which people's representatives participate in decision making process. Clear? So in democratic government we actually participate and elect our representative. They own a collective responsibility for all the decision taken by the government. That means what we can do, we actually own a collective responsibility for all the decision taken by the government. That means the elected rulers will take decisions on behalf. For what reason? So that we can prosper and we can actually be happy living in our own country. So that particular government will take that kind of decisions that will actually work for the promotion and welfare of the individual as well as society. There are examples where representatives of people are chosen but they are not allowed to participate in decision making process. So number 3 point says that there are examples where representatives of people are chosen but they are not allowed to participate in decision making process. That means in some country, we have read already that in some countries the leaders were actually elected through a democratic process, but that particular leader were not allowed to take their decision or make their decision for the welfare of society or development of the society. And for what reason it was actually done? Because in that particular country, sometimes what happened, some military chief or sometimes that democratic government was actually overtook by this kind of military rule or by some dictator. So this happens in many dictatorship and monarchy form of government. So related to number 3 point, that if the leaders are actually elected, then also they are not allowed to take decisions, because I have already said that particular countries, if we take the example of Pakistan, in 1999 military chief Pervez Musharraf actually overtook that democratic form of government and did not allow the democratic process to be, which was running very smoothly, to run there. So where people had elected the leader of his or her choice, but then also it was not allowed to run smoothly. So in related to number 3 points, we can say that this happens where these kind of things are happened actually, where the powers or elected governments are overtook. This happens only in the case of dictatorship government or monarchical form of government. Clear? After that, major decision, related to major decision by elected leaders, as I have said you the example of Pakistan. In related to that only, in Pakistan people formally had elected parliament and government, but the real power is with those who is not elected by the people. So if we try to understand about the things related to Pakistan, what is actually done there. In Pakistan the democratic form of government is there, but in real sense the real power is between or in the hands of those people who are not elected. Those are on the back side of the picture that you cannot see also. They are actually holding a power over these elected leaders, or you can say that these elected leaders, whoever the leaders are elected by the people, these following leaders have to listen to them. So the system that is running in Pakistan cannot be called as a democratic form of government in a real sense, because the leaders are not given any power to take any decisions for the welfare and development of the people. And the real power is with whom? With those who are not elected. That means those people who are in the back side of the picture that we cannot see or we don't know. So related to that, as I have said, that in October 1999, General Pervez Musharraf overthrew the democratically elected government and declared himself the chief executive of the country. So as Pakistan was running very smoothly and was following democratic form of government, suddenly what happened at that time? In the year 1999, in the month of October, General Pervez Musharraf, who was a military chief, he overthrew what? A democratically elected government. And after overthrowing that, he captured that position and he declared himself as the chief executive. That means chief of the country. So this was totally wrong, and it was also declared as a non-constitutional form of government. That means against the constitution he had utilized the power, and the government, the democratic form of government which was running very smoothly, he overthrew that and declared himself as the chief executive of the country, which was totally non-democratic. Clear? After that, in 2002 he issued legal framework order, if you remember. After 3 years of overthrowing the democratically formed government, after 3 years in 2002 he issued legal framework order. According to this order, the president can dismiss the national or provincial assemblies. And according to the legal framework order, as you know already, that what the president can do, the president can dismiss the national or provincial assemblies. That means he can dismiss any of the assemblies, be it the national, central or the state assemblies. The work of the civilian cabinets is supervised by the National Security Council, which is dominated by military officers. So here you can see that in case of Pakistan, firstly the military chief took over and declared himself as the chief executive. After that he elected himself as the president. After that he also issued one legal framework order according to which he can dismiss any national or provincial assemblies. After that, one National Security Council is there in every country where the security concerns are looked after. So that National Security Council was also looked after by his department only, that is the military department or the military officers, which was again very non-constitutional. And at last what he did, all the final decision and powers were in the hands of Parvez Musharraf, because he was single-handedly he was controlling Pakistan through his military forces. That means he was declaring himself as the chief executive. After that he was declaring himself as the president. After that all his military officers were overlooking after the National Security Council. So in both the cases they were actually encouraging what? Non-constitutional or non-democratic process. Clear? So with this I will wind up the class here only. So in today's topic we read about the features of democracy, and in relation to the features of democracy we try to understand about the second features, that is major decision by the elected leaders, where we read about how a democratic government should be, and we also read about that in those countries where democratic leaders are elected but they are not given the power to actually take a decision, what happens to those countries. We took the example of Pakistan in that case, where Parvez Musharraf did this unconstitutional work, where in 1999 he declared himself as the chief executive after capturing or overthrowing a democratically formed government, and at last he captured Pakistan as a whole, and he took all the powers in the hands of his individually. So I hope that whatever the revision process we have completed today regarding the chapter Why Democracy, it is now clear to you. With this I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.